So the whole point of this video is just that I wanted to talk to you guys about this. It's something, like I said, that I've been struggling with for a few years, and I thought it was just really important to open up to you guys and kind of let you know where I am. Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony, and today we're going to do kind of a chatty video with you guys. It's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I thought it was just about time that I made a video and kind of talked about it because it has something that I've been really thinking about for the past couple of years and I get tons of questions about, and that is cruelty-free brands with a parent company that tests on animals. There are so many different viewpoints on this, and a lot of people ask me for mine, and like I said, that's something I've been really thinking about for the past couple of years and trying to figure out how I really felt about it in the big picture of things. So I am still a bit conflicted on it. I don't think it's a black and white thing, and this is just how I personally feel about it. I know some of you will agree with me, some of you will disagree, and that's okay. I think it's very important that this is an issue we all educate ourselves on and decide what we feel comfortable with and what we feel is best for ourselves. The primary goal of Logical Harmony is to help people pick cruelty-free products and to help show them that it's easy, that they're accessible, and that they work really well. And that's been my main goal with Logical Harmony, is to help as many people as possible start buying cruelty-free products, start buying vegan products, and start supporting these brands. And I've noticed that a lot of people have a lot of hesitation. They have a lot of preconceived notions about cruelty-free brands and their products and what it means for the quality of them, how they perform, the price point, how accessible they are. There's so many things that get in the way of helping people pick cruelty-free products. And a lot of people, when they start out, they find that a lot of these easier to find brands that do happen to be owned by parent companies tends to be where they start out. A lot of times people are already using them, so it just shows them like there are cruelty-free brands making great products that you already use and love, or it shows them that they're accessible. You can go to this store that's near you, like an Ulta or a Sephora or all these other chain stores, and pick up these products. So it really helps to make it less intimidating for people. And I think for me, one of the big moments came when I was having a conversation with someone about eating a vegan meal at a restaurant that serves meat and dairy. Did that conflict with my morals at all? The way that I feel about, buying vegan products at a grocery store or from a brand that also makes meat and dairy products or at a restaurant is that it shows them that there's a demand for those products. And I do think that that's incredibly important. Brands don't know that we care about them being cruelty-free or that we're supporting them because they're cruelty-free or because they have vegan options unless we tell them in some way. And I think that using your voice is incredibly important. And a lot of times, you really do have to use your money to help influence that as well. It's just how the world works. And so for me, being at this restaurant and talking about why I was ordering their one vegan option and why I expressed that it was important to me that they, I was so grateful they had a vegan option and I was ordering it because I was vegan and all those things, that kind of really got me thinking, because I know a lot of people do the same thing. Is there much difference between that, buying a vegan meal at a restaurant that also serves meat and dairy, and buying a product that is cruelty-free and vegan from a cruelty-free company whose parent company tests on animals? There's not much of a difference between the two, and the more that I thought about that, about how important it was to me to when I'm at a small store and I see that they have vegan products, I buy them because I want to show that store that does sell dairy and meat that having vegan products is in demand and it's important to me and they will make money if they carry them. And just kind of, really thinking about how I felt about that, it started to kind of change how I felt about parent companies. And for a long time, I've been very conflicted. That's why I've never formally published a stance on how I feel about it. I personally think everyone should decide what is best for them. I think that no one can make that decision for you. Supporting any cruelty-free brand is better than supporting any company that tests on animals. Even if that cruelty-free brand is owned by a parent company that tests on animals, I do think that it still sends a message. Just the same way that I think buying vegan products from a cruelty-free brand sends that brand the message that there's a demand for them to make more vegan products. I think that one thing that's important to do is that we really have to step outside our own world and our own comfort zone, and especially as a content creator, putting yourself in the shoes of other people. I get so many emails from people who have different budgets. They have different stores that are accessible to them. Just everyone lives a very different life from one another. And for a lot of us, it is easier to find these products. It is easier to purchase them. And I get so many emails from people too who say, oh, the brands that I can get near me or that fit within my budget are owned by a parent company that tests on animals, and I feel horrible about that. I feel like I'm not doing enough. And just really sitting and thinking about it, like, to all those people, my response is you are doing enough. The fact that you're picking anything cruelty-free and you're making that conscious decision, that's good. And that is, don't beat yourself up over it. And that is important. And you're using your voice as a consumer. And I think that's something that we all need to do. And a lot of people too, they have a hard time knowing what brands are cruelty-free, especially when they first start to purchase cruelty-free products. If they've been shopping at a place like Sephora or Ulta, it can be very intimidating to walk into those stores where initially they could pick from any brand there and suddenly they're working from like a much shorter list. And so for a lot of people who are new to cruelty-free and new to picking out those cruelty-free options, sticking with brands that they already know, like Tarte and Too Faced or Smashbox, makes the whole thing a lot easier. It also helps to compete with the myth that vegan products just don't perform or that cruelty-free products don't perform. I had a conversation recently with someone who was new to vegan makeup, and that was really what they expressed to me, is that they had tried so many things and none of it worked as well. And I ended up just telling him, there's nothing wrong with continuing to use vegan products from the companies you were buying from before, such as Too Faced and Smashbox, that work in your makeup artist kit. Using that as a way to get your clients to start buying cruelty-free, and you can always keep looking for other options. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget, is that when you're in the cruelty-free space for so long, it's so easy for you. And it's really difficult for a lot of people when they're new. I try really hard to make it easy for people to start picking cruelty-free. I feel like the more people pick cruelty-free, the more it helps animals. And that's my ultimate goal. And I think it's really powerful for people to feel empowered and to not feel discouraged. So if they feel like they can still go into Sephora and shop from some of the same brands, it makes that entire process easier. And that's something that I think a lot of us can relate to when you think back to, when I think back to when I first went cruelty-free, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of you guys, it was a struggle. It was difficult, and there were certain things about it that were much more difficult than others. I was really hard on myself, and I think a lot of you guys are as well. And I think it's just important that we be compassionate with one another and really support people with where they are. And for me, it's very important to meet people with where they're at the moment. And like I said, this is something that I'm still struggling with. I'm still a bit torn on it, but ultimately, I think it's going to help more people pick cruelty-free products and pick vegan products if I'm talking about brands that are cruelty-free with parent companies that test on animals. I think too, one thing that has really been interesting for me to see is so many of these brands are doing really big things to help the cruelty-free and vegan movement. Like Hourglass just announced that by 2020, all their products are going to be vegan. Tarte, for example, since being acquired, they've released so many vegan products, and they have put vegan, like they've redone all of their in-store displays so it tells you what products are vegan. And I think it's really important to acknowledge the brands for doing that. I will say too that I've had some conversations with higher ups at different companies, and a lot of them are working from the inside to really make change. A lot of them are pushing their parent companies to go cruelty-free. They're pushing other companies owned by their parent companies to go cruelty-free. It's just really not a black and white thing. And that's something that I've really come to realize in talking with brands as well, is a lot of them are also very conflicted themselves, and being cruelty-free is important to so many brands and so many brand owners, despite who they're owned by, whether they're independent or if they're owned by a parent company. And I know that there are some too that have said that part of the reason why they decided to be acquired is that they wanted to spread cruelty-free. They wanted to make it easier for people in other markets or people everywhere to buy cruelty-free and vegan products. And once I started talking and really kind of like hearing that perspective too, I found that it was very interesting, and it was just a different perspective than I think we're used to hearing. And for me, that really gave me a lot to think about, especially how it's not a black and white issue. So the whole point of this video is just that I wanted to talk to you guys about this. It's something, like I said, that I've been struggling with for a few years. And I thought it was just really important to open up to you guys and kind of let you know where I am and let you know that you are going to see these products pop up in videos or content on Logical Harmony. The whole point of Logical Harmony is to help expose as many people as possible to cruelty-free and vegan products, and I think this is one of the ways to do that. I believe that in the long run, that is what's best for animals, and that's why I do what I do with Logical Harmony. Thank you guys so much for listening to this and watching this with an open mind and an open heart. I really appreciate you all so much. Because of you, I'm able to do this every day, and I am so, so grateful for that, and I'm so thankful for you guys for following me here on YouTube, on any other channel where you're subscribed, and I just feel very blessed to be able to do this with my life, and I will talk to you guys soon.